I don't normally talk much about the comics, but to be fair, reading and hearing about Darkest Hour, I generally really am quite excited about this, to the point I'm hoping this is going to be like the continuation of the hype that I had with Shattered Grid, bar the last issue that they had before it moved into something else, before that story arc changed. Now, I've reviewed some of the comics on here. I'm going to be again trying to get back into them and carrying on, and I kind of think I'll probably start with the Darkest Hour because it actually piqued my interest, which is kind of weird. Like the Eltarian War that went on, wasn't really kind of bothered on that one. It was interesting to read. I much preferred the Omega Rangers. That was actually kind of interesting, but never made me want to go, shit, I need to read this. I really need to make reviews and stuff like that. So also, if you hear something in the background, it is generally the fan that is keeping me cool, because the UK is in a heat wave right now and we do not have any aircon in the house. Okay, so let's have a look at this. This is the kind of the information that we get. Mistress Vile has won, with control of the Morphing Grid and Dark Spectre's infection spreading through all of time and space. The separated and stranded Rangers receive help from the last team they'd expect, but the Draken Rangers may not be the help they were looking for. It feels like that, but they expect. But the Draken Rangers may not be the help they were looking for. Meanwhile, if relationships at their point weren't enough chaos for Trini, Zach, Kimberly, and Tommy to contend with, it will take the team effort of Aisha to break the vile spell cast on their close friend and current Green Ranger, Matt. And with the Death Ranger, the adversary possessed Wild Force Rangers, and the return of the evil bounty hunter also in the mix, their master plan best not fail, or the Rangers may be erased from existence forever. Good thing the Hyperforce Rangers are on the scene in the tradition of Shattered Grid, and coinciding with the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, we basically have the fact that this is gonna be very, very interesting. The Wild Force Rangers, again, like it's weird, we don't normally get many other Rangers interacting. Yeah, we had tons in Shattered Grid, but we haven't, from my knowledge alone, haven't had something in a main storyline. And the fact is that you have, like, you know, Matt being evil, will that stop? You know, we've seen stuff with the Draken Rangers we know is coming out, and then obviously Wild Force. Like, who knew that Wild Force would pop up out of like kind of everyone? And I think it says time and space. So does this mean that we're going to be getting like the current Wild Force Rangers, future Wild Force Rangers, or the past ones? Like, I would imagine it would be current day, because I don't know. I mean, to be fair, like, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because they could easily just make something up and say, hey, we've got you know, the old Wild Force Rangers that had the powers beforehand. You know, it's going to be, I think this is going to be one of the biggest events in comic book, and it's going to be one of those things where I'm like, no, I want it now. And I could easily wait, but I kind of really want to review it at the same time. Obviously, the Draken Rangers, I think, would probably not be affected because of evil powers and stuff like that, or they were once evil, so their powers aren't corrupted. I can imagine, and this is one thing that I think would be really scary, and obviously kind of goes in with the zombie element that we had, where we saw with that pink, the Kimberly, you know, as a zombie. Like, I can imagine if, say, you have the Rangers who are already morphed, they can't demorph whatsoever, because that's the last piece of good in them and stuff like that. If they lose it, they're not able to kind of turn back. I think that would be really fucking cool if they did that. But, like, say, for example, like the Rangers go to Animaria, whatever it's called, and the Wild Force Rangers don't know who they are, so they do that morph, and then all of a sudden, like, their bodies crack, and then they turn into zombies because the Morphing Grid infects them really quickly, because obviously it's all over them. I would love that, and it's the Rangers that have got to go and try and defeat stuff. Like, they've got to try and find maybe a new Morphing Grid, reboot the Morphing Grid, whichever one that you have. Now, obviously, with Hyperforce as well being time, the way that I can imagine, like, maybe they're, like, if you don't have the goodness of the Rangers, maybe the reason why they don't get affected is maybe they're outside of time. Maybe they're too far in the future for this to happen, all the events are finished, so they're able to come down. Now, I don't know too much about Hyperforce. It's not really my sort of thing. I've been kind of told a lot of stuff in comments about Hyperforce, if you know. But generally, I'm very interested to see how the Hyperforce Rangers come in on this. Is it going to be slightly different? Is it going to be a little bit more fun? How is this going to kind of tie in? Now, with this being in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Recharged Volume 4, this is what I'm kind of really interested in to kind of pick up. Now, could this be an entire story where the comic books come in, or is this the one to kind of like start it off? Which I think if it is, a little bit shitty if it is, but I'll probably pick this up even if it's others. I'm just hoping that it's going to be different stories. This kind of looks like it's going to be an interesting tale. I would like to see a lot of zombie rangers. I think that would be kind of cool. That's something that I want to see, because I feel like if you go into the zombie world, you've kind of made it, so you might as well do it if this is going to be the last one, because everybody's expecting it. Look at Marvel, look at DC, probably Dark Horse Comics as well, and something else. But yeah, I generally kind of like it. But yeah, so Julian was the one to kind of bring this up. It's very interesting. I am very much looking forward to actually seeing these Rangers, like the whole storyline. It's going to be an entire year event. I hope it doesn't kind of spin off, because Shattered Grid did that and you had to go buy multiple different ones and stuff like that. So for me personally, I am very much looking forward to this. What are your thoughts? Are you looking forward to seeing Hyperforce come back? Are you looking forward to seeing like Ranger zombies? Because I know I am. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Check out the channel memberships if you want. That would generally help the channel. I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help does go a long way to support the channel, and if you want to consider helping the channel, then links to my Patreon as well as the channel members are listed below.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。